Good morning, everyone. My name is Ray Magtarayo. I am your Canadian immigration consultant based here in Edmonton, Canada. And welcome to my YouTube channel. I am also the sole owner of the Magtarayo Canada Immigration Consultancy based here in Edmonton, Canada. And today, of course, we will be talking about one of the greatest news when it comes to Canada immigration in 2021. So, if you are very much interested to know about it, or if you have plans or dreams of coming and immigrating here in Canada, please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, watch my videos, and of course, share as well so more people would know about it and would learn how they could fulfill their dreams of coming and immigrating here in Canada. So I would recommend you to please watch this video until the end. So one of the latest addition to the programs to immigrate here in Canada is actually announced this year. So that program starts on May 6 and is expected to last until November 5, 2021. As you can see, this is a very limited opportunity because this doesn't run all over the year. So it is very important that you learn about it, and I would like you to take advantage that you would know it from me. Okay, so this program is actually designed to attract people or people who are already here in Canada who do not have their permanent residency yet. So on May 6th, the program's actually opened and it actually intends to bring 90,000 applications to permanent residency. Yes, you heard me correctly. It's 90,000 applications. So these applications is basically divided into different categories. So for example, there are 20,000 slots or application slots that is allocated for people who are already working here in Canada in the healthcare industry. There is another 30,000 people or applications that is designed for those people who are working here in Canada on the essential non-health workers. And of course, 40,000 applications will be coming from international graduates from a Canadian institution. Of course, these programs I mentioned are all English speakers. But if you are a French speaker, you can also apply if you're already here in Canada. There is no cap, meaning there's no limit for French speaking workers in Canada who work in the healthcare industry. Also, for French speaking workers in Canada who work for the essential non healthcare industry, and lastly, non-limited as well, or unlimited for those French-speaking international graduates from a Canadian institution. So if you belong to one of these groups, please make sure that you start working on it. Send your application online because, as I've said, this is just a very limited opportunity and it does not run the whole year. So this temporary resident program to permanent residency pathway is a very limited pathway to permanent residence for those who are qualifying temporary residents and their families. This is a good opportunity for you to start here in Canada as a permanent resident. Applicants who have work experience in Canada in an essential occupation or the health services field or have recently graduated from a Canadian post-secondary institution may be able to apply for permanent residence. And also, please be advised that graduates and workers must be present here in Canada and must be currently working with a proper authorization at the time of their application. So meaning they must be legally working here in Canada on a proper work permit. So if you are illegally working, you do not qualify on this program. Graduates, as I've said, you must have or you must be present here in Canada and you should have proficiency in one of Canada's official languages and meet the general admissibility requirements to qualify. So as you are aware, there are two national or official languages spoken here in Canada. One is English and one is French. You don't have to be proficient in both languages, you have to be in one only, either in French or in English to qualify. And of course, the other basic requirements to immigrate here in Canada would also apply. For example, medical admissibility, criminal admissibility, and financially admissibility. On these new programs, all applications for permanent residents under the temporary resident to permanent resident pathway must be submitted electronically and using the dedicated intake tool. So in short, you should be logging in to the canada.ca website in order for you to apply for this program. Though there is an alternative process for persons with disabilities. So you need to make sure that you follow the proper procedure. And now we are talking about the basic requirements to qualify for this program. So, as I mentioned earlier, you must be legally entered here in Canada and has a status as a temporary resident, which means you must be a holder of a work permit or, of course, an international student. So a student permit. And also you must be able to meet the basic official language proficiency, which as I've mentioned, you must have an English or French exam, and they accept at least the exam to be 2 years. So if it's beyond 2 years, you have to retake the exam. So there are different minimum requirements depending on the industry that you are belonging. So for example, if you are belonging to the workers in Canada, healthcare, and workers in Canada for essential non-healthcare industry, the requirement is you must have at least a CLB 4. If you're an international graduate from a Canadian institution, you must meet a minimum requirement of CLB 5. And if you are French-speaking workers in Canada belonging to healthcare and French-speaking workers in Canada, essential non-healthcare, you must meet a minimum of NCLC 4. While if you are belonging to the group of French-speaking international graduates from a Canadian institution, you must meet a minimum NCLC 5. So those are the requirements. And maybe people are actually wondering, I mentioned earlier CLB and now I'm mentioning NCLC. So CLB is the Canadian language benchmark, which is in English, CLB. And of course, NCLC refers to the French score, which is it stands for, I hope I would be able to pronounce it correctly, okay? NCLC stands for Niveau de Compétences Linguistique Canadiennes, okay? So NCLC. Anyways, I don't speak French, so please forgive me for that. Okay, you must also meet the minimum work experience or current work experience, which means principal applicants must be currently working in order to be eligible for this policy. Current employment must be in Canada and can be in any occupation listed in the National Occupation Classification or NOC. So it says any occupation listed. So it doesn't matter if you belong to NOC A, B, C, or D, right? So it's a very good opportunity. And of course, you must be authorized. You must be paid in wages or commissions. So that in short, it's just trying to say that your work experience should be a paid job, not voluntary job. And you must or does not include self-employment, unless, of course, the employment is working as a medical doctor in a fee-for-service arrangement with a health authority. And then the lock-in date to determine currently employed is the date application is received by the IRCC. So there are also different factors to consider to be called as an employee versus self-employed. And it's very important that we understand this because in order for us to determine whether the applicant is an employee or a self-employed individual during the period of qualifying work experience in Canada, officers should consider factors such as the degree of workers' control or autonomy in terms of how and when work is performed and the methods used to do the work. Also, it's very important that you understand whether the worker owns or provides tools and equipment to accomplish the work. It is also important to analyze the degree to which the worker has to perform the work personally and whether has the option of subcontracting work or hiring others to help and assist with completing the work. You also have to determine the degree of financial risk assumed by the worker, including whether the worker is required to make an investment in order to complete the work or provide the service, and whether the worker is free to make business decisions that affect their ability to realize a profit or incur a loss. And also, any other relevant factors such as written contracts will also be considered for that. Okay? And another qualification that you must meet is that you intend to reside outside of Quebec. So this program is not intended to immigrating to Quebec, but to immigrate to all provinces except Quebec. So that is a very um, important thing that you must remember. Okay, there are also qualifying work experience, such as the work experience must be equivalent to at least 1 year full time experience and must have been acquired in the 3 years preceding the date when the application of permanent residence is received. So, in short, you have to make sure that you have at least a 1 year experience, 3 years prior to applying for permanent residency. So if your experience is like beyond like 4 years or 5 years, that would not be considered already. The applicant must have been authorized to work in Canada. So as I was saying, you must have a proper work permit. You cannot count, okay, for example, if you have relatives and you are actually babysitting for them, but you are not paid or you are paid in cash, you are not on a proper on a proper work permit visa, then that is not considered. And the work must have occurred inside Canada. So in short, overseas or out of Canada experience will not be considered on this program. And the work must be in an essential occupation. And the application must have been paid wages or commission. The applicant must not have been self employed unless, as mentioned, they are not working or they were working as a doctor or in a fee for service arrangement with a health authority. Okay? So if you meet all these qualifications, what are you waiting for? Please start the application before the quota meets up or before you run out of time. Because as I've said, this program is very limited. And if you would be needing assistance filling out the forms or applying, or if you need an immigration consultant to assist you with the process, please feel free to approach me on my Facebook page called Magtarayo Canada Immigration Consultancy. Also, please feel free to email me at ray@magtarayocanadaconsultancy.com. So I hope that I was able to help you with your inquiries or with your questions about this new program. Take advantage of it. It is a very good program and there's nothing to lose. It is a fast-paced program that would convert your temporary status here in Canada to becoming a permanent residence. And also, it will not just be you, but also your family. So, what are you waiting for? Start the process now. Thank you very much. And I hope that you have learned. Please make sure you follow my YouTube channel. Once again, my name is Ray Magtarayo, a licensed immigration consultant here in Edmonton, Canada, and the owner of Magtarayo Canada Immigration Consultancy. Thank you and have a great day. Bye bye.